Okay, so we're going to look here at how to get an orthographic projection video. If I just look into the folder, and in the folder we'll go in here, we'll go into our assignment, SolidWorks A. You'll see we have our template already done out, so I'm just going to open up the template. Give it a second to load. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my attention down here, and it's our template box. So I'm going to right click and say, when I right click, I'm going to say edit sheet format. Now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this little box and give it a title. So the topic for this one would be bathroom tap. If you were making a computer mouse or a sat-nav system or a lectern, you'd be typing that in there. So it's bathroom tap. Okay, so we have bathroom tap, orthographic projection, SWA, and drawn by. Who is it drawn by? Now, ideally you'd be putting your student number here, but you don't have that, so just put your name instead. Lovely. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to push a picture here. Okay, now I have, if I go up here to insert, and picture, I've saved a picture in the, just going to go back here, completed, so in the scanned, that's where we're putting all the research. So I'm just going to save this picture, or open this picture, and zoom out. Now as you can see the picture is here, so just going to bring it over here and minimize it a little bit. Now as you can see I have a landscape space and this is more portrait, but that's okay. You're just essentially putting the picture there, so when the person can view it they can see what's happening. Now as you can see that does fit there, and I'm kind of happy with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to select these ones here. They should be selected now, sorry. Let's press. And we're just going to right click and move them. I'm just going to move them down vertically a little bit, just give us a little bit more space. And this fella here, we're going to move him down. And now that just allows me to have a little bit more space for my picture there that I'm happy with. So as you can see, the person who has commissioned you to do this can now see what the tap will look like when it's finished. We have a lovely icon here. We're going to press this icon, and what that does then is it gets us back out of the template editing and we're into the actual drawing. Just want to draw your attention here. The date will automatically line up every day that you open it. The sheet number, now you might want to change the sheet number. Just say edit sheet format. Your sheet number is going to be what position will it be in your project. So for SolidWorks B, it's obviously going to be a different sheet number. If you're doing an ordinary level project, it's obviously going to be a different total. Just keep an eye on that. Now, the next thing we want to do is we want to start intersecting some stuff, or inserting stuff. So if I go view layout, standard tree view, browse. Now the first thing I'm going to find is I'm going to find my assembly. So assembly. And when it comes in, it's going to give me an elevation, a side view, and a plan. That's totally okay. Now, what I want to do straight away is I'm going to click on the main one. You'll notice when I click on it, I click on the box around it. I don't click on the shape. Bring this down, and I'm going to go to hidden detail because we want to see all the hidden detail that we have going on here. I'm going to bring this a little bit closer. Yet again, I'm dragging the box. So we've got this shape here now, lovely. We may change the sizes, but let's just say I want to change the size. I click the box and I'm going to come down here and I'm going to say use custom scale. Now at the moment the computer has automatically picked 1:2, that's okay. I'm going to drag this up and say user defined. Now if I mess with this, if I say 1:2.5, you'll see automatically it gets smaller. Now that's too small, I don't like it. So where my 2.5 is will come out of there, and instead of saying 1:2, I might say 1:1.8. As you can see, it's going to get a little bit bigger, so we'll just leave it at that now for the moment. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here to projected view. I'm going to click on projected view. I'm going to click my elevation. Now you'll see if I drag up this way, I'm getting different views in different directions. I'm going to come up this way. That's after giving me a 3D drawing. So I'm going to bring my 3D drawing down here. straight away I definitely want to increase the size of this a bit, okay? So I'm going to bring her down, use custom defined, and where it says that, we're going to go 1.5 and just see what that looks like. And at the moment I'm happy with that, so I'm just going to leave it there at the moment. That's totally okay. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here, I'm going to put measurements on it. Now dimensions are very important. As we know, we can't build onto that measurements. So I'm going to go to annotation and smart dimension. Now this is vital, lads. You pick a point at the bottom. In this case I'm lucky because I have a line, but if I didn't have a line I'd be picking a point. You pick a point, you come up one, you go across. Now here I want no decimal points. Now, if you have a very small tolerance, you might want to change it. That's okay. So, sorry, no decimal points. And we have a 20 there. That's okay. And just make sure it's centered. It's nice. We'll go again, same place again. We're going from the same position again. I'm going to go to the bottom of this water. And I'm going to go to here. Yet again, no dimensional points. Now, see the arrows? Okay, I'd like to put the arrows inside. So the leaders... we can mess with that in a minute anyway. And we're going to again, we're just going to get several different distances. 75, that's okay. And we'll go to the very top point, 108. Now if I was to go to the circle, it will pick up, it's not going to pick it up, but it's picking up that 90 there. It's picking up a 90 diameter. I'm not going to use that. So as you can see, I'm just going to put this roughly to the middle, and I'm going to move the box over. We want a little bit of space. So as you can see, I've put in 4 dimensions there. There is no right or wrong number of dimensions. Next, smart dimension. We want to go these dimensions. So we're going to go from this point and we'll pick a point, okay? Just pick that point there, bring it across. We have a 35. Now it's gone diagonal. I don't like that. So I'm going to delete it, go again. Big distance there, that's okay. Just drag her up. Point. And we're going to go to another point here, go to that width there, 57.500, we'll go none, click the point, we'll go to full width of there, the widest point, and might this for this just go 0.1 so I get my 0.5. Now you might be wondering, why didn't I get the diameter there? The reason is, when I come down here to my plan view, that's where I'm going to get, I have a lot of circles, so I'm going to get several of my circles in my plan. So I have a diameter 24, I have a diameter 30, now 38.588, we're just going to go back to none, and then we've got a 90. Now as you can see, they're not nicely spaced, so I'm just going to pull these in a bit, just to present them a little bit better. Remember, presentation to your client is key. If your question is not well presented, they're not going to be happy at all. So there we have those measurements there. I'm now going to go over to my side view. I'm going to pull this in. I'm only going to put in 1 or 2 measurements in my side view because it's going to be very similar to my elevation, as we know. So maybe might do an overall height, might do a height to that washer there, and just do my diameter 90 there. And then as you can see, we've all my measurements. Please note how they're lined up. We're going from left to right, smallest to biggest, top to bottom, okay, and it's smallest to biggest. So please, please, please keep an eye on that. So I'm going to just move this up a little bit. I'll move this up as well. We don't want to leave ridiculous spaces between them because we want to maximize the presentation. Now, next thing we're going to do is I'm going to come on here to View Layout. And when I go to View Layout, we'll see this lovely thing called Section View. I'm going to get my Section View. Now, straight away it comes up here. We want to get it right into the middle here. So it should let me click on that. That's perfectly okay. Now, I'm going to say yes, I'm happy with that. Now, I'm going to try Auto Action and Flip Dimensions and bring her across. And what we have there is, it comes up Section PP. Now, first thing, yet again, presentation, I'm going to move this down. Where it says the PP, instead of having PP, I'm going to change that to A, because this is the first detail we've done. So A, and it's automatically changed. I'm just going to move that to there, and move that to there. And you'll notice here, I'd like to put colour on this here. Lovely. Now, you'll notice this is all hatched now to show all the different parts that we have. Please note, when I change this A and this A, it also changed from here to here. So very happy with that. So there's a section done for us there. The next thing I'd like to do is I'd like to insert an exploded 3D. So I'm just going to go standard 3D views, browse, exploded. Now when I'm going to bring in exploded, straight away it comes in here. I'm just going to move them over to the side because I don't actually want them. What I want is projected view of this fella. I'm going to bring him here. And I'm going to move this fella down here. I don't want that or that or that. You can keep them off the page if you want, but I don't particularly need them. Change my color. Scroll down. Now I'm definitely using custom scale here. So let's just see, what does 1:2? Would I get away with 1:1? No, 1:1 is that big, too big. So user defined 1:1.4 or sorry 3. Yeah, I will actually. That's lovely. So I'm just going to move that there, and now we have a lovely exploded drawing. So just going to come in here and zoom in a little bit. Now if we go to annotation, you'll see here balloon and auto balloon. Please use balloon. Do not use auto balloon, please use balloon. Okay, now the thing about balloon is it numbers them in relation to how you introduce them into the assembly. This was the first part I brought in the assembly, this was the second part. So the computer automatically has determined what's part 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So we're naming all of these parts. Okay, and let's just press escape to get out. Let's just do a quick. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. We have our 7 parts, and that's our exploded view. And that's our 3D view. We can definitely make our 3D view a little bit bigger. It's a bit small there. Lovely. Now, the next thing I want to do is I want to insert a table. So I have 7 parts, okay? I'm going to go insert table, general table. Because I have 7 parts, I'm going to make 7 rows and then 1 more for a head and 8 rows. Columns. For the columns, we're going to have the part number, the part name, and the quantity. So we're going to say 3. You could put material in there either, it's up to you. So we have a table. Now I'm just going to start with my table just here, and we can move it in a moment. So, part number, sorry, make sure we have the capitals right. Part name and quantity. The quantity be very important for the manufacturer. So we have part number 1, 2, 3, sorry. I'm going to zoom in. 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Alright, and we'll just bring that. See the way I'm bringing the table over? I do not want a case, lads, where we have a table where one is massive and small. Have it a little bit realistic. I'm actually going to just click on this up here. And we're just going to click on this fella and we'll go font 16 and we'll go bold. Just to highlight that a little bit. And I'm going to bring this over. Brilliant. So, part name. So, part 1 is the tap body. Part 2 is the tap base. 3 is the handle. 4 is the handle screw. 5 is the tap connector. 6 is the inside tap connector, or I'll call it tap screw, sorry. And 7 is the internal washer. Now, and we want 1 of each of them. Lovely. Now, want to put a place, the ideal place to put it is going to be right here in the corner. Now, when I say in the corner here, please note, I do not mean leave a big space, I mean actually in the corner. Now, if I click this, this is where we're getting a little bit predictable. If I get this, I actually want to line up that with that there. So now I've got a tiny bit of space here I don't like, so I'm just going to drag this down. And as you can see now, it fits nicely into it. I'm happy with that. It just looks a little bit more impressive, okay? Yeah, again, if you want to click on this fella, click A. We can change our fonts. We can mess with all these things. If I make them bold, they'll stand out a little bit more. I might pull this in a little bit, and then by pulling this in, I'm going to pull him to there. Lovely. Now, something that's very important to note. I haven't actually saved this. I should have done this there. So save as. Automatically, when we made our template, we saved as orthographic projection SWA. So we're just going to press save. Lovely. Now, just down here in the bottom left, when we print it, it will say SolidWorks Educational Edition. So you don't put anything in the bottom left. But as you can see, we have a bit of space around the place. It's not good just to have a blank. If you were given that to a client, it wouldn't look well. So if I zoom in here now, I'm going to come up here and I'm going to go to View Layout. And we have a lovely thing here called Detail View. So if I just click on Detail View, I'm essentially sorry, that did not work out well at all. Go again. So I'm going to click roughly in the middle here and draw a balloon. I'm taking a balloon around the handle shape, okay? I'm taking that balloon and I'm going to put it here. Now, straight away the 2 is in the way, so I'm just going to move the 2. And I can move that point there. We can move that to suit us as much as we want. And detail R. Now, same way as my section. I'm going to call this B because realistically we have had an A detail. So I want to have a B detail. These are the little details that your client will notice that will be very impressive. So we have that. And as you can see, the big circle that, I'm just going to move this around a little bit. Lovely. So we've got that detail view there. I'm just going to press save again. Every time we do something, we're going to press save on it. Okay. Now, next time we want to do is we're going to get another detail view. So just have a quick look. We have a nice bit of detail that's going on in here that we want to get. So just click in here. Okay, it's just taking a second to load. No, that didn't work, so we'll go again. Right, the computer is a little bit slow on us today. So always delete old stuff that we're not using. So detail view, and we'll take this little bit of detail in here. Lovely, and we're going to put that there. And I'm going to put a little bit of colour on that as well. Just stands out a little bit better. Now, here's the problem. When I put in colour though, lads, it doesn't look impressive. It really doesn't. So we're actually going to leave that one as a black and white one. Sorry, hidden detail one. And yet again, we have detail T. Instead of detail T, we're going to have detail C because we have 3 details. And we'll fit one more detail in here. So I'm just going to have a quick look at another place we got detail. I'm going to get this little bit here as detail. I think it's impressive. So I'm just moving that. Just see I'm moving that little arrow. And just moving that. Just moving them. Okay, it suits us a little bit better to have them move. That's okay. So detail view. And we're taking that, and we're going to put that there. I'll just bring this up a bit just so it's kind of in line. And yet again, so this would be our detail D. Lovely. Now as you can see, we keep filling our page. Alright, I have a tiny bit of space here. As I said, that's because you're going to have an SolidWorks Student Edition here when you print it out, so we don't want that there. The only thing I will do is we have our A, we have this. Lovely. I'm very happy with this. So I'm going to press save, exit out of it, and now when I open up my folder, I have my e-drawing, my assembly, my exploded assembly, my orthographic projection, and my several parts. Do not delete any of those files. You're keeping every single one of those files. And just when we see it open up, there we have again, like so. So that would be a complete orthographic projection view. Okay, we're filling our pages with detailed views of the assembly, no individual parts unless those parts are extremely complex, and the detailed view gives us a lot of information.